Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. I've got something a little bit new for you on this Friday morning, so I have. We'll be talking about my predicted lineup in a minute, but it's also the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer press conference reaction from last night and Transfer Daily combined. Lots and lots to discuss. Where we're going to start off with, let's start off with a little bit of transfer stuff because we're going to be positive because Ole's positive. In fact, we're going to start off with an Ole quote. What a quote this was. He was asked about how he's going to approach the Spurs game this weekend. Do you know what he said? Well, we've got to adapt because you've got to adapt to every opponent. But we're Manchester United. We need to attack. That's our strength. And we've got to be clinical because we'll get less chances. Mourinho wouldn't have said that. Van Gaal wouldn't have said that. Moyes wouldn't have said that. He's a 6-month interim manager who should be boxing clever. I've said this a few times now. He should be boxing clever a little bit. Well, he shouldn't be. You wouldn't blame him for boxing clever and saying, a month ago we were here. We've got, sod all that. He's like, come on, let's have it. We're going on the attack against Spurs. It's so refreshing. What I would say about Ole though is he too nice? I've heard a lot of people saying that. I don't think that's a problem. I think he is too nice at the moment because everything's going well. But I see hints of him of when things go bad. Like there was a couple of questions which we'll come to in a minute. But let's talk a bit about the transfers. The things that you want to really know are Koulibaly and Skriniar. A lot of talk that neither of these deals are going to happen this January. Let's wait and see. But what is becoming more and more evident if you look around the press is that other clubs are circling round, which it was inevitable and we need to be realistic about. Koulibaly being linked to Real Madrid, a lot of other top clubs like PSG looking at Skriniar. There will be competition for these centre-backs. It's not as easy as United. Well, it's not easy to get them out of the clubs they're at anyway. But then on top of that, there will be rivals for it and that will pump the price up. And as I said, what United need to do is be very, very aggressive and pay them money. Woodward's got a reputation for being a barter player. He barters for deals. We can't be affording to do that. You identify... Look, at the end of the day, Skriniar and Koulibaly are probably looking for moves. They're two of the best centre-backs in Europe. Look at what Van Dijk's done at Liverpool. Go and get them. Don't barter and miss out. They'll either sign new contracts or they'll go elsewhere. And to be honest with you, I do get worried with United when they... It's the old snooze you lose thing, isn't it? When we get linked to these players, we wait and they don't get done. The Perisic deal, the Alexandro deal. So we've got to be absolutely hitting the nail on the head with those deals very, very, very soon. Something else that you might be interested in, Josh Bowie, who is a 19-year-old forward in the Manchester United youth setup. He's apparently refused a deal. He's free to go in the summer, and Barcelona and Monaco are looking at him. To be honest with you, Bowie, I can't remember how you pronounce it. Sorry if I've got that name wrong, but I have seen him in the youth setup a few times. Notably, I remember watching him against Liverpool last season when Hamilton and everyone else was playing. He's a good striker, but he's not knocking on the door of the first team. And you never want anybody who's got the potential to go, but we'll have to keep our eye on that. The reality is Gomez, Chong, and Greenwood are all on contracts, and that, to me, to be honest, that's great. That's absolutely superb. Anyway, let's talk about what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had to say. And just transfers actually related. Let's talk about that. He said that being Manchester United manager, the speculation around the club when there's a transfer window is absolutely amazing. Players I've never even heard of have apparently signed for us. But he can't comment on any deals because it's nothing to do with him. And then he said the same about the contract situations. Remember I spoke about the Matters, the Youngs, the Herreras. He said discussions are ongoing, but it's not down to me, which is interesting because as I've said a few times, I don't think we need to worry about whether Solskjaer is going to go and say let's sign Skriniar. I think these deals will be made or have been made and prepared way before Solskjaer came in as manager. So keep your eyes on that. Just on the fact of the contract negotiation renewals, apparently Ashley Young and Juan Mata are very close to signing new deals, although Mata did speak publicly in Spain yesterday because he went to get an award and said that, he really likes it in Manchester, but obviously, he doesn't know what's going to happen in the summer. Mata might decide not to sign a new contract at 31 and think I'm going to be free and I'm going to go and get myself a massive wage. So you don't know. I mean, Matt is a fantastic gentleman, isn't he? Ashley Young, 34 in the summer. I'm quite adamant about this, and I'm going to use the ruthless quote on this. I don't know what you lot think, but I think we need to be ruthless in the transfer window. What does a 34-year-old Ashley Young offer us? His best position's winger. He's not a fullback. We've been using him as a fullback for years. He's not a fullback. He's a winger. He's 34. He's not really quick enough to be a winger anymore. He is basically what I'm on about when it comes to Manchester United improving. We need to bring players in and we need to ship players out. And for me, Ashley Young is a perfect player like Phil Jones to ship out. They are two players that are never going to get any better. They're only going to get worse. And they are taking up spaces for new signings or youth players coming through, and they need to be shipped out. And you might like both players. I like them. I've got nothing against them. But this is the ruthlessness I mean. It's not sentimentality street. It's Old Trafford, and we need to get on it. Anyway, let's talk about... this leads quite nicely into what he said about Marcus Rojo. Marcus Rojo... He needs to be on the Antiques Roadshow. I said this last night. Marcus Rojo needs to be on the Antiques Roadshow. What is it about Manchester United and collecting injury-prone centre-backs? We've got Phil Jones, we've got Marcus Rojo, Bay's always injured. We need to get down the Antiques Roadshow and see what we can get for them, because it's ridiculous. We're clearly collecting them, but Rojo's now back in Argentina. They asked him if he was in Dubai. No, he's gone back to Argentina because that's where he needs to be. It's the best place for him at the moment in his recuperation. He's always bloody injured. We nearly sold him to Everton in the summer. He's part of the Deadwood team I was hoping we might get rid of. We're not going to get rid of him now, are we? He's pulled a Fellaini, get injured when the transfer window's open. So Rojo's back burning his toast in Argentina. But Positivity Street, Pogba is fit. There was concerns about him. Pogba is fit. He was back in Dubai. He's fit, training, fine. That's what Ollie said. And also on Dubai, he said very, very good. 4 days of training. And the big thing for me about that, underline this, is the fitness. He said it was hard work. The players enjoyed the hard work. And that is absolutely imperative, because what we happening, and Ollie was asked about this as well, are you getting closer to the team that you want to play? Because when you think about Cardiff, Newcastle, Huddersfield, Bournemouth, the 4 games that he won with his first team, I'm not counting that game against Reading, this is not the team that he wants. This is not the way he wants to play yet. That's just go out and try and do it. He's had 4 days training now, and the fitness thing is the big thing for me. When you look at Spurs on Tuesday night against Chelsea, we had expressions on last night, and he's oozing sauce. Well, as I said, Spurs were snoozing sauce on Tuesday night. They looked knackered. We've had a week of intense fitness training. I'll tell you what, that could be the difference between winning and losing, because we could go there and be all over them when they're tired. And I think that Ollie's team, if you looked at what he did at Mould, you look at what he did at Cardiff, all right, it wasn't majorly successful at Cardiff, but definitely it's about the press, it's the high press, it's the intensity, and that 4 days of hard work could be massive, and no midweek game. It could be a massive boost for Manchester United going into this game. Really, really encouraging. He was also asked about, every day we get closer to my play, which is building, because it's not just about fitness, it's about cohesion, it's about building relationships on the pitch, which is obviously very encouraging. It's very encouraging in general that we've had all these wins and we think that's the Solskjaer way. We're only on a journey to the Solskjaer way. He wants way more. He wants to build relationships between the players, patterns of play, that more intensity. So we're only having a glimpse so far. I can't wait. I can't wait for the game on Sunday. I'm not going to say we're going to win. I think it's going to be a draw, but it is our first test. And he was asked about that. Is this your first test as Manchester United manager? He said, well, no, not really. My first game was away at Cardiff just after the manager had been sacked. You don't know how the players are going to react. The first game at home, how's the crowd going to react? The first Newcastle away was the first tough test away from home. So we've had tests, but what he said is this is our first test against the top side. And that is right. It is our first test against the top side. And we've got a lot of those tests coming. We've got Arsenal in a couple of weeks in the FA Cup. We've got PSG a couple of weeks after that. We've got City, we've got Liverpool, we've got Chelsea. We've got some big tests coming. So this Spurs game is monumental in the fact that, it's one game over 90 minutes, but it sets the tone for the rest of our season. We could turn up against Spurs, get turned over 3 or 4-0, and we all go, we are, we're much better than we were under Mourinho, but we're still a long way off from where we need to be. That could happen. I don't think it will, but we've got to be realistic. He was asked about Pochettino as well. Obviously, a lot of people will be talking about Ollie versus Poch. To be honest with you, it's a bit of a dead duck, really. It's not really... What does it mean, Ollie versus Pochettino? Ollie's been here 5 minutes. Pochettino's been in the Premier League for a number of years. They're both candidates for the Manchester United job, but what is it really? It's not like Pep versus Mourinho, is it? Or Pep versus Klopp, or Klopp versus Mourinho in those, when we had that. This is Ollie 5 minutes against Pochettino might not want the job. So I'm sure if whoever wins, the press will love it because they'll say, well, they've got to be United favourite now. If Ole wins, I think a lot of people will be on the Ole bandwagon. For me, I still would be waiting till May. I think we've got that patience. But what Ole said is that he's done a very good job. That's why there's speculation about him being in the Manchester United job for a reason, because he's a very, very good manager. But that's all he said about that. He spoke about Harry Kane. He said Harry Kane's a fantastic striker, but I've got a couple of strikers I'm really happy with. I hope he's talking about Martial and Rashford. So look, at the end of the day, very, very exciting. I mean, just on Marcus Rashford as well, I saw something yesterday, I don't know where it's come from, that Marcus Rashford has been told that he is now the number 9 striker for Manchester United, which effectively means he's the number 1 striker because we only play with one, which to me is absolutely brilliant. That's what we want. We want Marcus. I said this under Mourinho. I was one of the people who said that Rashford needs to go on loan to Bournemouth, and a lot of you said no, but the reason I said yes is because Marcus Rashford's at that age now where he must play every week up front. There's no point in him playing every now and again on the left wing for Manchester United. He's a striker, but he's only going to develop by playing first team games up front, and it looked like under Mourinho that was never going to happen because it was always going to be Lukaku. Fair play to the lad. Applaud the lad. It's sensational what Rashford's done, because if he is now Manchester United's number 9, he's only just 20. Absolutely sensational for him to be doing that and be given that responsibility. What he could become now. What he could become is scary. So I just hope that he can pin down that role, not get injured, and become the player that many of us have felt for a few years that he can be. And the only reason I wanted him to go to Bournemouth was so that he could do what he's going to do at United now, or what he has been doing. Play up front every week in the Premier League and develop his game. You don't develop in training. You don't. You learn little bits, but you become a great player by playing football matches first team. So I'm really, really pleased about Rashford, and I really hope that's true. Because to be honest with you, there are videos out there 18 months ago where I said Rashford will be a better striker than Lukaku, and a load of people said, you don't know what you're on about. I said Lukaku's 24, Rashford's 18, 19. When Rashford's Lukaku's age, he'll be a better striker than Lukaku. I actually think he's surpassing that virtually now. He's very, very close to him now. So, I was right. And everyone else who agreed with me was right about it as well. But look, the reality is this game is absolutely huge for Manchester United on Sunday, and I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait for it. I'm not really going into it with massive expectation, and that's not me lowering expectation. I'm just massively enthused by the game. It is our first big test against a big team, like Ole says. The team has had a week off. They'll have done so much work on their intensity. They'll have done so much work on their movement and cohesion. Let's not forget, Solskjaer came in midweek. First game was on the Saturday. Then we were into Christmas, where games were every few days. It's his first solid, no pressure, day-to-day, get away, have a break, but work hard. And I can't wait to see what it is against a very good Spurs team, which I'm very respectful of. Pochettino's got a very good setup there. I think Son is probably the best player in the Premier League at the moment with Salah. He's absolutely fantastic. Harry Kane is deadly. Eriksen is a magician. They've got really hard workers. They use the width. They've got good centre-backs. They're a very, very, very good team, Spurs. And it's going to be a very, very big test for Manchester United. But going back to what I was saying there, is Ole too nice? No, I don't think he is. I think he is nice at the moment because it's positivity. But as he said, come and speak to me when we've had a bad result. And that will happen. We'll have a bad result, and I think you'll see the tough side of Solskjaer. He can't be Manchester United manager and walk in every time smiling and being positive and saying, yeah, I think Kane's good, Pochettino's good, yeah, this is that. He knows that. He's played under Sir Alex Ferguson for years. He knows he's got to have a steel. He's got to be harsh. But he doesn't need to be at the moment. And I don't agree with these people who say he's too nice and it worries them, is he too nice? His demeanour is nice. He's a positive man. That is very, very important. But he will have learned from Sir Alex, and Sir Alex will be telling him, you've got to. But I think he's got that anyway. But the positivity is absolutely fantastic. Like I say, the line that come out from that press conference for me was, and I'm going to want to get it extra, we need to attack. That is our strength. And you would never have got that at a Mourinho or anyone like that. But you'll get it from Ole because that's what he wants to do. We must attack. He knows the United way. It is absolutely important. With regards to transfers, as I said, not a lot going on at the moment. So I've combined it with the show on today. We need a centre-back. I'll keep saying this as well. I'm massively worried. If you look at that's my predicted team on the left-hand side there. Big shout out to Draughty Devil for the graphics on this. Really good work. So we're going to enjoy using this with the tactics and everything like that. But that's how I think we're going to line up. I think it'll be Young on the right, captain, Shaw on the left, Jones and Lindelof, Matic, Herrera, Pogba, Martial, Rashford, Lingard, De Gea. The big positivity under Ole is that we know 7, 8, 9 of our positions. You know, we know the front three, we know our midfield three, we know Shaw, we know Lindelof, and we know De Gea. It's only Jones and Young that I think that at the moment, until we make signings, is a concern. But Phil Jones is a concern for me. Last January, made a mistake. Against them in August, makes mistakes. We've got to be good defensively. And Ashley Young as well. He made a mistake, didn't he, a year ago as well. If we don't keep it tight at the back, we're going to have a mountain to climb. We've got to defend well against Spurs. If we don't give ourselves a platform to go and get a result. That is absolutely essential. Please do drop a like on the video, everybody. Subscribe if you're new. Get your comments in. And definitely live again at 8 o'clock tonight. And we might be back at 1 o'clock as well. So thanks everyone for watching. I shall speak to you all soon.